than that. As I've said in the book and in the few interviews I've given, I'm so proud of the fact that Team Top Gear kept everything quiet and we were dignified. There is nothing out there about what happened. There won't be. There's no mole in the organisation. I'm really proud of that. So I hope you understand. As long as he's healing, it's great to see him out and about, being passionate about cricket. I'm sad I'm not doing Top Gear with him at the moment, but that's life. It's the best thing for him right now.
And absolutely fine. Completely respect that. That accident marked a big change in your life and your career, didn't it?
Yeah, because I suddenly had nothing to do. I have got another business. Which is an online car auction platform, which is great. I do stuff there. But my day job went, and you can imagine, your muscle memory of working life is really important. You guys have your routines. If that suddenly stops, I had 8 years of it, 7 years of it, and suddenly you don't talk to those people, you don't see those people, then, yeah, you go into a slightly dark place, I think. I really missed it.
I think a lot of people will absolutely, and as Naga said, the internet itself we will not talk about, but clearly for you, anyone listening to this or watching you now will know if someone you know and care for is involved in something very bad, it can make rethink quite a lot of things, can't it? And I'm thinking about risk, I'm thinking about what you do in your life, how you know, literally what you're doing on this earth. Have you had that? Has it got a bit like that for you, where you I think my
life's been about risk management for a long time. We work in opposite ends of this corporation, don't we? You guys sit on a sofa and you're cerebral. I'm an absolute rock ape that goes out and tries to hurt myself. And I've always done that. And I've actually not hurt myself, so I've been quite good at managing the risk. But it does make you reflect on the times that it might have gone wrong, maybe. And that made me think I've got responsibilities, I've got children. Have I been reckless? Answer is I don't think I have. But I did have moments where I thought, I pushed this too far. Also, I'm old and I don't bounce the way I used to. You know, when you're 25, when you bounce nicely. When you're nearly 50,
invincible.
You don't bounce so well. It's all about bouncing.
Let's go back to you when you were little. This thing about you in a car, that started way back, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a condition that's run through my life. I'm a total car obsessive, and I think maybe the people that watch Top Gear, because it's a general entertainment show, wouldn't have realised just how bad it was with me. My co-hosts always loved cars, but mine's, you know, you could prescribe some kind of medicine for what I've got.
I love the way you compare your school lessons to your obsession with What Car magazine, which, what certain people won't understand, at time, What Car magazine was entertainment. You know, if you're a certain age, it absolutely was. And you kind of compare, like, your school at your maths lessons, for example, and you say, if you'd asked me whichever car, you know, you'd be like, automatic, which gear transition, la-di-da, you know, you would know all these stats. I also think
it's the context of information being absorbed by young people. I mean, there's one serious note in the book, probably, in all those pages, and your one serious note is that I think if you'd conditioned everything in my education towards cars, I'd have absorbed it, because I was interested in it. But if you sit me there on a maths test and talk about apples, pears, going to the shop to buy stuff, whoosh over my head, I had no idea. But the moment it was about cars, the numbers were about cars, I could remember them.
I know, was it your dad who got you the first What Car magazine?
It was my late father, who didn't like cars at all. He bought me to shut me up.
But can we talk about your mum? Because she sounds fabulous.
Yeah, she's quite a special woman, actually.
She used to race cars.
She used to race a bit, and she was a very fast driver on the road. And there's a few things in the book about... I didn't tell them all. There's several scrapes we got into. The local constabulary knew her well, let's say. For speeding? Might have been speed-related.
And she was a very charming woman, so was able to get off. She had a sort of Barbara Cartland drawl to her that meant that she could say, "Oh, dear officer, I'm so sorry. I wasn't aware that I was doing 100 and whatever." and the policeman would be so staggered by this presentation of car, old woman, sort of slightly weird brown kid in the passenger seat, he'd be thinking, right, can't really deal with this, let's just let him go. Did she ever comment on your racing career?
No, she was... she found it very difficult, actually. She would never come to the racetrack. When a car enters the pit lane, a big siren goes off, and it's universal around the world, that siren sound. And she said that made her feel sick to the pit of her stomach. So she would never come to watch me race. She never saw me do a single lap, which is fair enough. I don't really... Racing's selfish. I think you describe yourself as being naturally quite grumpy, don't you? And I mean, a sort of rather grim, resting face. Is that fair? I'm a bit of a toad in the corner. And I've always worked with smiley people. If you work with Matt LeBlanc or Paddy or Freddy or these people they're all smiley. I don't have that disposition. I've got close friends and I like to have a joke, but I've got that slightly, you know, I'm in the corner.
You smiled a lot on this sofa.
I know. Maybe
You're trying
it's
really
you two
hard.
that draw it out of me. You tease it out of me.
But I always thought the thing about Top Gear, going way back, was actually, to me, it wasn't really about the cars, it was about the bickering.
Yeah.
And did that play to your strengths in that sense?
Yes, it did. And also, I was always working with very willing people. So I can remember getting a note from Paddy and Freddy's agents very early on saying, nothing's off limits. You can take the mickey out of anything you want. That's so refreshing. You're dealing with people that could be very protective.
Or egotistical.
Yeah, and they weren't. They just said you can have a go at anything. So Fred is and was my cricketing hero. I'm a cricket tragic. And within a week, I'm taking the mickey out of his teeth or something. You know, it felt very edgy. But you're right. For me, Top Gear as a format is 2/3 about a slap in the face or a kidney punch, and 1/3 about giving a hug. You know, that's the balance. 2/3 is rib punches, and the other third is I love you.
You're still in touch with Matt LeBlanc, aren't you?
Yeah, he's a lovely man.
To take on that mantle, it's a big thing, taking on a show like that. Whatever the role is, your role is, I think you're always going to be set with fans of the programme going, no, never as good. Much better with the other lot. I mean, it happens on every type of programme.
Yeah. I think, I wrote an article on Jalopnik, which is Gawker Media's car site, saying that anyone that took on the role, this is early 2015, would be mad. And then I ended up doing it myself. So I knew it was going to be tricky. Much of it I didn't like, but much of it I've really loved. It's been a hell of a journey.
What was the biggest shock when you took over the programme?
I think the two biggest shocks, one physically was going into the studio, which it was a studio I'd seen other people in. I think to coin a phrase that someone else said to me in an interview, it felt like being in someone else's bathwater. It wasn't my place. You know, can you imagine if you went and sat on your rival sofas on the other channel? You'd go, well, this is similar, but it's not quite where I should be. And I think the other one was just how much in the public eye the show was in 2015, 2016. You know, you couldn't open the papers without there being a reference to the show. And I hadn't been in the public eye like that before. I was the bloke off the internet. I'd been hiding in plain sight, really.
On a much more flippant note, how often are you at the wheel at traffic lights and someone glances across, recognises you and tries to...
take you on?
Every single day, probably.
Does it happen every day?
Really?
But there's nothing better than just going, off you go. That shows I'm an old swine now, because in the old days, that would have been, right, I'm going to beat you, but not anymore.
Calm.
No, calm.
Just laugh at them.
Calm. Also, the social media means you'll get called out very quickly if you start racing.
Well,
I don't need that.
This is true. The book Variable Valve Timings, which I understand means nothing, right? Is that...
I think it's a demarcation between the nerds and the non-nerds. The non-nerds will just see it as a load of words. The nerds will get it.
OK.
Oh, now I want to get it.
It's a particular type of engine that came out in the 90s that I loved, and I think people just like... There's an alliterative quality to variable valve,
yes,
and I think it's just one of the nicest named mechanical aspects of a car.
Why
and
not?
nerds like that.
There you go.
Still smiling. Thank you so much for talking to us on the sofa, Chris Harris. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's Variable Valve Timings.